everybody doing? Chef Chris, and today got a good one for you. We're gonna have a good time. I love having fun in the kitchen, and every once in a while, one of my favorite things to do is to stop and just smell the roses, have a little fun, and do something that I want to do for a snack. So today, we're gonna do soft pretzels with beer cheese. Today on Cooking is Fun. Okay, so you can see the consistency of the dough. It balled up and it's not sticky, and that's what you're looking for. You don't want it to be sticky anymore. Now we're going to take this dough out and we're going to put it on a light floured surface right here. If you do have tiles for your surface like I do, you want to make sure you get flour down inside the tiles, between the tiles where the grout is. And the reason I say that is because your dough is going to go in there and stick if you don't. What happens the first time around is when you put the dough on, it goes down in between the tiles, as you can see, and it picks the dough out, which is fine. Okay, and what you're going to do is we're going to take this dough, and now we're going to knead it for right around 10 to 20 minutes and get the gluten going real good, and then we're going to let it rest for 10 to 15 minutes. We're going to really work this in pretty good, 10 to 20 minutes, like I said. And you really want the gluten to really work and that yeast to mix and that combination of that nice rise. Some people would say 10 to 15 minutes really isn't long enough, and we'll check that. We'll see. And if you don't think it is and you want to go a little longer, that's okay too. And I might even do it too. I just don't want to where when I bake these, I don't want them overly fluffy. I want them the consistency of a pretzel on the inside, a soft pretzel. So that's kind of where we're at with this. And we've been going here a good 15 minutes, and I think that looks pretty good right there, huh? We're gonna put this back in the bowl, and we're going to let it set for right in the neighborhood of about, like I said, 10 to 15 minutes. If it needs a little more than that, I'll know because of how puffy it has become. I'm trying to get at least close to double in size. I may have to go a half hour. We'll see. But that's next. And then we're going to roll these babies out, and we'll start doing some pretzels and putting them in our bath, and we'll get to all that in a little bit. Okay. So let's check our dough and see how we're doing here. Pull this off and look down in here. And it has almost doubled in size, which is perfect. All right, there it is. So we'll compress it down, work it just a little bit, not too much. We don't want to get a bunch of gluten going on again, but we do want to get the air out of it. Okay, so we're going to get the air out of it now. And then I'm going to cut this into about 6 or 7 pieces, equal pieces across. And that will be the start of our ropes, which we'll make ropes out of this, and then we'll make the pretzel design and put them into the bath wash, which is basically water and baking soda. Obviously, they're not all going to be equal, but they're going to be pretty close. So what we're going to do now is we'll take each of these and set them aside, and one at a time, we're going to bring them over, and we're going to roll them out into close to, if not right at, about 20-inch rolls. And we don't want them real super thick, because I'll tell you, when you get pretzels like made from home, especially in this type of dough, which I'm just using AP flour, And they do puff up quite a bit. So we're going to get us a nice strand, and then we're going to do one of these. Let's try it again. Takes a little practice, a little getting used to. Push them down and pull them out. And that, stretch them a little bit, is a small pretzel, a very small pretzel. Now, I will tell you that you can do this with one twist, or you can do it with two. You can make them as big as you want. My key on these is I like to make sure that I push this down really good right in here, okay, where this connects, because when you put it in the bath, if you leave it a little bit too long, that will separate. Make sure you got enough flour. You don't want it sticking to your surface, obviously, but then again, you might get too much. You got to be careful of that too. So I think I did that this time, got a little bit too much, which is fine. Nice thing about cooking is that I love is that if you make a little bit of mistake, you haven't really messed up anything. You can always cover for it if you have to. Okay, get another nice little rope here. So you got to keep that in mind. So we're going to twist, come back a little bit, come back over here, and push down. There's your pretzel. Okay. You just basically cross your hands and do one of these. It'll turn. You come back, and you get your nice pretzel. Okay. Do another one. So there's another rope. We twist this way, and then we let it turn. Spread it out, and we come up, and we push. Okay. That one's really got a lot of twists in it. Which is kind of cool. Go over here, do another one. The next thing that we're going to do is, once we get these done, is we are going to take them one at a time. And I've got some boiling water going on right now. And inside that boiling water, we have put in some baking soda. Now, some recipes, like this one, calls for 10 cups of water for a half a cup of baking soda. Nonsense. I don't think you need that. It's not that much. You're basically using your baking soda to get your pretzel look and flavor, okay? And I'm thinking I need more space to be able to get these in and out of the pan. I don't like to use a pot like this some people do. I like to use a skillet. So what I do is I will take the pretzel, dunk it in, 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds tops. A minute is way too long. And I'll pull it out and put it on the prepared pan. And in my case today, that's going to be a screen. Some people will use a prepared baking sheet with parchment, which is fine. You can do that. You can use a stone if you wish. Looks like that's stuck back together on me. Cut that off. And I've got a stone too. Today I'm going to be using a screen. But back to my point, if you put a skillet of water on and you sprinkle, I don't know, probably 3 tablespoons at the most of baking soda in there, that's going to be plenty to get the end result that you're looking for. And then we're going to take and make sure that we got them nice and looking good. And if they're not, we'll put a little egg wash on them, pop them back in for a couple minutes. They'll have it all nice and shiny and all that. You can do that. You can butter them, whatever you want. We'll put our sea salt on after we get, we'll put our sea salt on after we put them in the bath. That's where that comes in at. In here, right? And we'll twist him up, put him out. It's going to be a little smaller, a little thick, smaller one. Now, I will tell you on these, if you don't spread these out when they get that thick, you will have a glob at the end. And what you can do is, if you have a pretzel that comes out like that, and you didn't do a very good job like I didn't do, then I can always take this back apart, and we'll fix it. Roll them out a little bit more. If it gets too thin in an area, you can always roll the dough over, go back over, make it smash together, and reshape your dough like that. Okay? Get it nice and the consistency that you want. That's the key. And that's what makes cooking fun. You can do things that you want to do and experiment. I've experimented with pretzels I don't know how many times. And quite honestly, this recipe here that I'm using is a little bit different than the last one that I used. I'm just trying the one that I find to where I can finally say, that's the one I'm going to use every time. That's the one that I believe that people would like if I put it on a menu. It's all about experimentation. And that's exactly what I've been doing. Okay, so here we go. There we go. It's a little better. We're going to bring this down. Grab it. Fold it. And pinch it. Down like that. It's just a shorter piece of dough, and that's why we're going to get a little bit of funkiness to it, but that's okay. So, done. Now, we're going to take our pretzels one at a time, and we're going to go over here, and we're going to put them in this bath that I've made here. And like I said, it's just about a half a skillet of water and about 3 teaspoons of baking soda. We'll dunk them in here. We're going to let them go for about somewhere in the neighborhood of about, I would say 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds at the most. Do not go any further than that. Use a slotted spatula to get them out, and then we're going to put them right here on our screen. That's what I'm using. You can use parchment paper on a sheet. That works just fine too. And then we're going to pop them in the oven at 400 degrees, and we're going to let them bake.
What are you doing, Midget?
All right. Yes, she is. Now you want to make sure that you're using a slotted spatula or a spider so you can pick them up easy and the water goes through, and a big enough one to where you don't get the issue of them falling apart when you bring them back out. Okay, so I think we're good here. Pull this out. Now we're going to put this over here. Just lay it right out, just like you would have it cook. Same thing over here. Sometimes they come and lose their shape a little bit, so what you can do is just push it under, and bring their shape back, okay? Now, sometimes they don't come out exactly like you want, but that's, like I said, the fun about cooking at home when you're doing it like this. It's fun, and you're gonna find that there's some things that work and some things that don't. There we go. Put him in there. Okay, splash a little bit up on top of here. I don't like to turn them. You take more of a chance and a risk of damaging the pretzel and the shape of it. So what I do is I just splash it on there. The hot water gives it just a little bit of a hardness to start the cooking process, and your baking soda soaks inside and it gives you that nice look and that nice feel and taste and texture of a pretzel. Sometimes you're going to do these and they're going to fall apart on you and you're going to want to give up on them. It happens. Quite honestly, it's not that bad. Just keep trying. You'll get it down. I don't have it down perfect. See, like that right there. We just broke one. We'll put this back on top and push a little bit. It is a little warm. Just came out of boiling water. Put that down in there and we're done with it. Okay. Now we're going to sprinkle these. I'm going to put a little bit of the sea salt on there like you should. And then I'm also going to put on them some sesame seeds. I think it gives them a nice look. Okay, we've got our salt on. We've got a little bit of sprinkles here of some sesame seeds. We're going to pop them in the oven at 400 degrees for 13 to 15 minutes. And you're going to want to check on these right around the 11, 12 minute mark. every oven cooks differently. Every oven cooks unevenly. Just make sure that you've got your eyes on the oven. Do not walk away and leave them or you will burn them. Not a good idea. Oh, looky here. Looky here. Oh, we're going to take that wire rack, set it on another air rack like that. Oh, look at this. Look how beautiful the color came out on those. Now, not shiny, nope, but instead of an egg wash, I think I've just decided we're just going to brush some butter right on top of these bad boys. And they will shine, and it'll be good. Down in here. On these, you got salt. You've got a little bit of sesame seed on there, which is really nice. Makes them look good. Adds a little bit of flavor, which is pretty cool. Go down here and get some more. So you got to get the idea. You know, it doesn't take a long time to do these. It's very, very easy to do. And like I said, experimentation is probably the biggest thing that you'll find with doing pretzels at home. You can go a little longer, make sure they got a nice crust, soft on the inside, like I did here. Or you can just simply go to a doughy stage, which is fine too. It just depends on what consistency you're looking for. But that's all you have to do with making the pretzel. Now, coming up next, we are going to go and make a beer cheese sauce that'll be fantastic with these pretzels. That's coming up next. Okay, we've made our pretzels, and now it's time to make our beer cheese. Oh my gosh. You may have seen me make this at Bar Lines online, basically a step-by-step process, letting you know a little bit about what's in it, but not getting into too much detail. Well, today, we're going to get into a little detail of how you make it at home, because in that type of setting, we're making 5 gallons. Here, don't need 5 gallons unless you plan on eating a lot of cheese. But I will tell you, this cheese is not only good on your pretzels, but it's also fantastic on your nachos. Okay, we already put in a teaspoon of Dijon mustard for a little bit of heat. And we're going to put in a half a teaspoon of Worcester sauce, a teaspoon of garlic powder, put in a half teaspoon of salt, a quarter teaspoon of black pepper, a little bit of cayenne pepper, quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Well, just a little heat, not much, a little bit of spice, but not a lot to burn you up, okay? Now, we are going to add just a little bit of beer to this, not a lot, just a little bit. Add a little bit of milk, because that's our main ingredient. It's getting ready to go into the pan over there. All right, and then we're going to take our whisk, whisk that together, and make us a good sauce here, okay? That's going to go into the beer cheese after we mix it on down. A lot of people ask, what kind of beer do you put into your beer cheese? You can do several different kinds. Lager is a very, very popular choice. But you can also put in an ale, which is what we do at Bar Lines. And an ale is absolutely fantastic. So we're going to pour a little bit more beer in here. The portions on this, I just used just a little beer sauce, or a little bit of the beer sauce with the beer and the milk. Just enough to get it nice and wet to be able to stir it up. As you can see, it's not a ton. We just wanted to make our sauce, okay? And then I went and filled this back up, and I've got myself back about a 3/4 cup of beer. And we're going to use a total of, including what we put in here, 2 cups of milk to make it nice and creamy, okay? Over here, I've got 2 cups of mozzarella and about a half a cup to a cup of, roughly in that area, of cheddar. Okay, and that's going to go in our sauce, but we'll show you how to break that down and make that next. Okay, one of the things that we're going to start out with is we're going to get us a nice pot, and we're going to put in a 1/4 stick of butter, and we're going to start getting this up to temperature here. And we'll just take and cut this down just a little bit so it melts a little faster. And then we're going to add to that a 1/4 cup of flour. And we'll start adding in our spice sauce, our beer. Get that up to temperature to boil. Put the milk in, cool it back down, and then let that slowly come on back so we don't curdle that milk or singe it on the bottom. And then we'll add our cheese and melt it in. Now, in the setting of the restaurant, one of the things that we do is add real mustard powder with the seeds and everything, or they'll use regular mustard with like a whole mustard, which is a little more spicy than a regular, but it's a hot mustard. And then we just get the spices out of that. And we use real onion. And then, as you've seen in my demonstration from work, we strain it. Here at home, we're going to take a little shortcut. We're going to use garlic powder instead of real garlic, and we're going to use some onion powder. We'll put that in there. We don't have to worry about the creaminess of it then. We don't have to sift it. And we'll bring it all together that way. That way we don't have the issue of having to sift it down through a sifter and all that good stuff. Okay, so that's how we're going to do that. Okay, our butter is melted. Get rid of this. Pour this in here. Okay, got a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. And we're going to make this a nice roux. Just like you're going to make gravy. All of our seasonings that we're going to use, we put into that spice sauce that we made earlier. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and we will add that in there. You're going to have a little bit of that stuff in there, but by the time you add in all this milk and cheese and beer, you're not going to notice hardly any chunks of any kind of speck of anything in there other than a little bit of spice every once in a while. That's about it. So, okay, we got this up to just a little bit past medium. We want to get this up and running. I don't want it over boiling. I just want it to a boil, and that's it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and stir that up and start to get that to where it's going to start boiling here in just a second, and then we'll add our beer, and we'll let that come up to temperature, and we'll add our cream, which is our milk, 2 cups, and then we're going to add our cheese. Okay? For those of you that see my nice little collage of junk back here, I've basically turned our kitchen into a into a commercial kitchen. All right, so let me show you the consistency here. Check it out. It looks just like a gravy. See that? Let's go ahead and incorporate our beer and start incorporating that in there. Now, you should be able to smell that aroma coming up, okay? You don't want to burn it, obviously, so you don't want it too hot, but you got to stay here with it and you got to do some consistent stirring. Make sure that it doesn't stick on the bottom. If it looks like it's still a little too thick, add a little more beer, which we're going to on this one, okay? And now what we're going to do is we're going to let that cook down a little bit and let some of that alcohol cook out of that and bring us the flavor that the beer is going to bring. We're using a Yingling lager today. You can also use an ultra, a light lager, some people like. I do prefer the ale. They just didn't have any where I went today. But the ale has a nice overtone flavor for those of you that enjoy that in a beer cheese. Makes you know you're actually getting a beer cheese. The lager does, but not quite as much. Okay? It's a little thinner. Okay, so this is getting warm. And it's not real thick. The consistency is not a gravy. It's almost now like a soup. See that? Like a soup. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in our milk. Stir that in. Now, we're going to start adding in our cheese a little bit at a time. We don't want to do a ton of it at a time. We don't want a big glob in there. You want to melt this down just a little bit at a time. So we'll start with the cheddar. And you can adjust this. You can adjust this. You can make it a double. If you don't like the consistency because you think the cheese sauce is too thick, you can always add a little bit more milk or beer. I'd rather use the milk at that point. We've got enough beer in there. But if it's the other way around and it's too soupy, add some more cheese. We're using 2 cups of mozzarella and a cup of cheddar. And we're melting this down in here. And we're going to get the consistency of a really, really nice beer cheese. That'll go fantastic with the pretzels that we made a little bit ago. Okay, wait on that, let that melt down a little bit. Get up to good temperature. I will tell you, you're going to want something to put this in and let it cool. It will be entirely too hot to consume right away. It will be really, really hot and enough to burn your mouth off. Or your face off, whichever you prefer. I haven't really adjusted my temperature. I've left it about the same, but each time I add a liquid ingredient in particular, it cools the temperature back down and then it brings it back up. If you don't have it too hot to start with, make sure you don't, okay? See where we are on the consistency of the bottom with this cheese. I don't think it's melting quite as fast as I would like it to. It's getting there, but it's not quite where I want it. I want it the consistency of a cheese, beer cheese. As far as what I'm taking out of there. It's not going to be that consistent in here yet because we don't have all the cheese in. But what we do have melted will stick to your whisk, and you can see if whether or not that's the consistency you want. I'm not quite getting the melt down that I'd like to have, but we're getting there. Something else you can put in here to make it creamier, nice creamy beer cheese would be, cream cheese would be fantastic. A little bit of fresh mozzarella would be good. I'm using regular mozzarella. Your bigger grades of mozzarella will melt more evenly quicker. I've got a smaller grade, so it's taking just a little bit longer here, okay? And this cheese is still a little cold, so it's gonna, it has to come up to temperature again every time I put some in there. And as I can look down in here, I can see my cheese is starting to churn from the heat, which is good. Just got to keep turning it and make sure that A, it doesn't burn or scorch on the bottom, and B, we're getting a nice melt and that it's coming around nice. So good, y'all. It's really good. You smell that? That's not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, what we're going to do real quick is I'm going to take this off the heat, and then I'm going to grab some more cheese. Okay. Bring this back over here. And now, put a little more cheddar in there. This is nice because this is nice thin cheddar because it'll melt really fast. So we'll get our consistency real quick on this. Just a little bit, just till you get the consistency melt that you're looking for. And I'm just about there. That did real well. Just a couple little pinches in there. Did it. That did the trick. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay. So, there we go. See how it's clinging to the whisk? There's that heat I was telling you about. It's bubbling. We're going to take it off the heat. And now, we're just going to leave it off the heat right there. We're going to let it cool. Once that is cooled, y'all, that is going to be absolutely fantastic. Look at that cheese. And that, my friend, is a fun way to cook at home. A little bit of soft pretzel, a little salt, and a little bit of sesame seed on top, and some nice beer cheese. Goes great with the game, goes great with family, goes great for just me personally by myself, because I like to snack. Have a fantastic day. Enjoy your evening.